In the last section, we took a look at some of the documentation around our response struct that we get back from the htt.get function, and we saw that it has a body field that expects to have something of type read-closer. The only issue is that read-closer is an interface, and we've really been talking about interfaces as a way to kind of reuse code a little bit. So the first thing we're going to talk about is why a interface was used as the type inside of a struct. So pretty straightforward, really not that bad. If we specify a interface as a value inside of a struct, all we're doing is we're saying that the body field right here can have any value assigned to it so long as it fulfills this interface. So this is kind of like a free lease on us. It kind of is giving us a little bit of flexibility. It's saying you can put any type in here as long as it satisfies the read-closer interface. So all we really have to do is look at that read-closer interface, drill through the documentation, and then eventually come to find that we need to define a function called read and one called close. So if you and I sat down and made some type of struct that had a function called read and one called close that obeyed all these other types in here, we could then freely make a response struct and assign that type to this body field. So that's why we are seeing an interface in the place of an actual type inside of a struct. Now the next thing I want to talk about is why we saw the kind of funny syntax around the read closer. So specifically this right here. When we were talking about interfaces just a little bit ago, we were a little bit more used to seeing syntax like this, where we list out a function name, a set of parentheses, and then the return type. And so clearly that's not the case here. Well, in Go, we can take multiple interfaces, so different interfaces, and assemble them together to form another interface. So both reader and closer are interfaces. The read-closer interface says if you want to fulfill the read-closer interface, like if you want to satisfy the requirements of this interface, you have to satisfy the requirements of both the reader interface and the closer. So all we're really doing here is defining a new interface by putting together pieces of other ones inside of our application. And so we can freely embed one interface into another as much as we please, as long as it actually serves the purpose of building our application. So in reality, what really matters to us is what the reader interface and closer interface are requiring of us. So that gives us a little bit more information on what's going on right here. Now, I want to take a quick pause and come back to the next section. And we've been pulling in like a tremendous amount of information these last couple of videos. So let's take a quick break, come back to the next video, and I just want to do a very fast review on what an interface is, just to make sure that the meaning of an interface is not getting lost as we're talking about all these advanced concepts. So quick break and then a review in the next video.